Hello, my friends. Today I'm going to be embellishing flamingos. I'm going to add one more over on this side, and I'll paint that for you and explain what I'm doing as I go. I love this background. I don't remember what I did to come up with this, what medium, what colors, anything, but I really like it. And I remember thinking it would make a great background on its own. Wasn't right, but these little shapes just reminded me of flamingos, so I knew right away that's what I was going to embellish on there. I took the leftovers from that and I did this little background and embellished it with this little gal. It's just a fun background. I really like it. I sure wish I had taken notes so I could do it again, but whatever. I did recently put a lot of things on my website, acrylicpaints.com, and I'd love to have you take a look if you're so inclined. Yeah, that would be great. Okay, so basically flamingos are quite easy, and they look great on pours, I think, as a background, because so many of them look watery. You could do it on a blue one, a multicolored. They're just fun. And of course they come in different colors: white, pink, peach. I decided to go with the pinky ones on here because red, in the red family, of course, red being the opposite of green on the color wheel, they really pop, you know, and that stands out nicely against the green. So that's why I chose to go with the pink flamingos. Initially I was thinking white because these already looked like flamingos to me, but I'm glad I changed my mind. So let me, and I'm going to just brush mix as I go. I didn't do any pre-mixes. I have some Napthol Red Light, Hansa Yellow, Titanium White, Red Violet, and a bit of black here. So I'll go into the, I'll make some watery red. Paint's drying out. It's very warm today. And just show you the shape of a flamingo, show you how easy it is. It's a bit bright. So I wanted a different position. I'm going to have it facing this way and head down. But the technique is the same on all of them. So I'm going to start with a body by making a circle. So basically it's almost an oval. It's kind of that shape. And then the tail is kind of a cone shape. Might be better to do this with chalk because if it's wrong, you can erase it. But if I mess it up, I'll just, you know, cover it up with more paint. Then this head is down here. And have him down here, so that's another little circle. See what I'm doing? I think I'll bring this down closer. Sorry. Whoop. There, that's a little better. You won't be able to see the palette, but maybe if I move this all over. Yeah, now you can see everything. And then the neck is an S shape. You see how that's an S there, this is an S, and this one will be as well. So in this case, it's going to go kind of like a backwards S. Okay, those are my guidelines for my flamingo. Now the beak is kind of a rectangle. And then kind of a cone shape. There's a bend in it, of course, kind of a cone shape. you're going to thicken the neck, of course, by going around your guideline there. Don't even need to do this, really. You can just paint it. Sorry, you know what, I'm just gonna, I wouldn't even bother doing that, but I'm trying to teach you something. But that's the shape. Circle, cone, circle for the head, S shape, rectangle, cone. And then the legs are just long, bendy things. They bend opposite of human legs. There's a little knob there at their joint. And then this is supposed to be kind of a reflection in the water. So, okay. I'm going to start with a small flat brush. Or no, I'm going to use a larger flat brush. This is a size 8, I think, yeah. And I'm going to go into, start with a darker shade, kind of this purpley pink color. So I'll go into my red, violet, and white and mix up a shading color. I don't want it too dark, but I want a bit of shading. I'm going to go underneath. I know my hand's in the way, but I can't paint right-handed. So I'll just kind of shade in under his body and then bottom of his tail. Maybe on the underside of his neck. Then I'm going to make a pink out of Napthol Red, which is too orangey. If you mix that with white, you're just going to end up with a peachy color. So I'm going to add a little bit of the violet to it to make it more pink. And more white. That's a little too light. I think I need something a little more in between. All right, then I'm going to kind of slap in some medium tone. And maintaining the neck shape. So come down to the head here. It's a little thicker where it meets the body, of course. Okay, now the head is pretty much an oval, a circle that kind of egg shaped, a little more egg than round. I'm going to shade the side of that, the neck there. My paint is drying up. Shading the underside of the neck to give it a little roundness. I have a little bit of extender on my palette. Maybe that'll help move the paint a bit. Oops, got a little thick there. That's too thick there, so I'm going to quickly go into water and try to lift up part of the neck there, lift up part of that paint while it's still wet. Whew, that worked. Ooh, that was close. Okay. I'm going to be coming back and refining things. Don't think this is all there is to it. Okay. The top part of the beak, I'm going to switch to a smaller brush now, they're all different. Sometimes I've seen pictures where the black goes all the way up. Sometimes it's very little black. But these painting kind of whitish, pinkish. The top part there, so it kind of goes up into their right under their right up to where their eye is. It almost looks like the eye is I stopped it short on these two, but if you look at a picture of a real one, it's almost like the eye is part of the beak. I mean, I know that doesn't make sense, but it's interesting to look really close at it. I mean, it's just the coloring. It's probably that this is not really beak. That's probably feathers there. I don't know. This is not a good video. I'm sorry. Okay, now I'm going into the black. Hopefully, and to the tip of the beak, the bent part. It's kind of roundy, pointy. It's not super pointy, but it's there we go. That's okay. All right. That needs more paint coverage there, but while that dries, come back with the pink. Yeah, lighten up this side of the head a little bit. You know, that gave it some roundness there. And man, it's very dry today. I got distracted. I put this paint out, painted these guys, and then I got distracted with a task here at home, and my paint is not perfect consistency anymore. My next video I may do oils. I'm so much more comfortable with oils, and I'll show you how easy they are to use. And there's no problems with them drying out on you. All right, now I need some black to run a line for the mouth on their beak. The opening there kind of starts down low and then it goes up toward the top of the beak. So let's see, that would be here. I'm going to try to keep a skinny line. Of course, if you're painting bigger, I'm painting pretty small. There's advantages to both. If you're painting small, you don't have to worry too much about details. But if you're painting big, you don't have to worry about fine lines so much. Okay, the eye is yellow. Let's just dab a small yellow circle. And let that dry, and then we'll dot it with black for the pupil. All right, now let's move on to take my smaller flat brush and start building up some feathers. So the feathers on the top are short-ish, and they get long on the tail as well. And then there's some short ones on the side, and they go back here too, but I'm not worried about those. So basically that's it. Short, longer, long, and short. So we'll move to this person, this guy. And I need a nice pink. So I'm gonna take white, add a little bit of red, a bit of yellow, and then, oops, that's way too much. That's way too much of the violet. Go back into the white and make it more. It's still way too cool, so red. White. That's a lot of paint. Okay, now I've got two shades of pink. Get some of that paint off. That was way too much. And let's go into the medium and stroke on. So, you know, I have to turn my canvas. It's hard to do that angle. Always make it comfortable for yourselves. So I'm painting towards me. So I'm going to start with the, oh, I can't even see that. It's going to be a little lighter. Maybe this will be my medium tone. Just start by dabbing in some little short strokes for the short feathers, and then lengthen them. And what I'm going to do is kind of, can you see this? I'm going to smash it down and then lift up to get a kind of a feather shape. So smash and lift, kind of overlapping them, and you don't want stripes. They kind of flare out over the back if you want a bit. It doesn't have to be perfectly round. It shouldn't be. I'm not happy with that color down there, but we can come back to that. Let's see. These feathers kind of go, these are shorter ones here. And then long tail ones. I'm going to add more white and make a lighter pink. Let's wait a second. Let's do that eye while we're waiting for that to kind of set up. So got a little bit of black, and I'm just dabbing in a center. Their eyes are very, very tiny. I mean, you could make a bigger, take artistic license and make them a bit bigger, but they're very, very small. Darken that up a little bit. Okay. All right. Back to the feather thing. In fact, let's see if this is light enough. I'm going to do those same feathers. I think I'll start with the longer ones, and then I'll overlap them with the little ones. So see, I've lightened up the color. And then dab in these shorter feathers. Okay, I'm going to fix that. I don't like the way that looks, so what to do? I think I'll do a just kind of a wash of the shade color. So my brush is should be quite wet. Yeah. And I've just got a real watery brush there, and I'm just going to kind of feather in, no pun intended, some shading. That's better. Okay. All right, now I might come back and add more white. I think I will. But let's move on to the legs. Now their legs are so fun. They do the weirdest things. This one I've got doing something odd. This one is a little bent. I think I'll just, you know how they stand on one leg. You could just do one leg. I think, what shall I do? Let's see. I'll mix some kind of orangey. They're kind of light pink. A lot of orange in these guys. Let's add a little bit of orange there. Napthol Red Light is kind of very much on the orange side. It's a warm red. Okay, now I got to think about where the joints are. These aren't perfectly anatomically correct, I'm sure, but I want them to look like these guys over here. So I'll come down to about there for the joint. So I'm just going to run a straight line. Comes right out, pretty much right around the middle of the body. Then there's a bulge where the joint is, and it comes down some more. Okay, and I'm going to shade that a bit with some more orange. Should I add another leg, or shall I have it just kind of bent up there? You know how I think I'll have it bent up. So this one's coming from behind, back there. And then it's going to disappear. It's going to go back. Yeah. Okay, that leg's a lot oranger. I forgot I was using the shading. So I'm going to come down one side with my flat brush and just kind of shade one side of the leg. Come into the pink. Lighten it up. That's not bad. Okay, now this leg needs a little work here. All right, I'm not happy with the bottom of the body there. There's too much of a contrast between those, I was calling them leaves, feathers, and the bottom there. So I need to come up with an in-between shade. So I'll just pick up some of that light and some of that darker tone. So I come up with a meld of the two and just kind of tap in some feathers. That's better. All right, now just come with some white. Oh, and I got to do the reflection of his leg as well. Sorry, I'm bouncing around, aren't I? Yeah, the reflection would be a little bit darker, I think. So, and I'm just gonna let it kind of wiggle it in a little bit. Wouldn't be perfectly straight. Keeps going, and I'm not going to worry about his body. Well, I did over here. See, I just add the hint of their body reflection, so I guess I better do that as well over here. That's all I'm doing. Okay, let's lighten up those feathers, and this demo will be done. So I'm going into the white and the light. So I have it. It's not quite white, but it's very light. And I'm going to just, not every feather, but a few of them, I'm going to highlight. Okay, I'm not sure I'm done. I'll live with it for a day and see if I decide it needs something else, like, you know, maybe a branch in the background to kind of give some horizontal interest to it. It might be sufficient as is. I like to keep it simple. I like to let the pores still enjoy it. I don't like to cover up so much of it that you can't see it's a pore anymore. Like this one, I think is sufficient. Yes, someone suggested I put something in the water for her to be looking at, but I think it tells more of a story if I don't. It makes you wonder what she's looking at. You know, you can use your imagination, let the viewer think about it a bit more. So, but on this, I'm not sure. I kind of feel this does need a little bit of vertical on it. I'm not sure it's done. Let me know what you think. But do give them a try. As I said, they're quite easy. Circle, cone, circle, S shape. Long legs with the... Oh, that's what I forgot. I forgot the little feathery part where the leg meets the body. Be a little darker because it's under the shadow. Just gonna tap that in. Okay, and the other leg is on the other side. You wouldn't see it. Okay. There's always more to be done. I'm looking at this and thinking that the beak needs some work. Maybe a little lighter up here where it gets closer to the head. Could add a little bit of a highlight on the beak. do it there, I should do it everywhere. And they got a little divot, kind of, well, their nostril, maybe? I would guess that's what it is. Actually, it's not. It could be black. I'm going to go in the orange, though. And that's like right up here. They have a little... I don't want to get too detailed, though. This is just... You know, if you try to get too close to the real thing, unless it looks like the real thing, it looks funny. So it's better to be representational. I always say that. It's my excuse for not being perfect. Okay, I think we'll call that done for now. And let me know if you think I should add more to it or leave it as is. And thank you, my friends, for joining me. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.